back, y'all. Happy Tuesday, man. My
Welcome
peeps.
to True Crime News.
We
begin today with a single mom in Georgia, savagely murdered, discovered by her twin teenage daughters in the bathtub. And the clues will lead detectives to the most surprising places of all. The tragic end for Nikki Whitehead was the last chapter in a troubled, difficult life. She was literally born in prison.
She had twin
Her
girls,
mother
y'all.
doing time for drug possession. Nikki was raised by her grandmother, who had a tough time keeping her on the straight and narrow.
She didn't have what you call a curfew. Nikki was able to come and go as she pretty much pleased.
And at only 17 years old, Nikki ended up pregnant with twins. She named them Tasmia and Jasmia, known as Taz and Jazz. For 12 years, the trio lived with Nikki's grandmother. But Nikki dreamed of giving her daughters a better life. Nikki worked hard, and eventually the three moved about 20 miles away to Conyers, Georgia. The young mother wanted her girls to have advantages that eluded her, putting them in dance and music classes, nothing but the best for her baby girls.
She did their hair, their makeup, and for Nikki, when it came to her kids, it was always a celebration.
The girls were also straight-A students, with hopes of one day going to Harvard. But their path to success was dramatically diverted when the girls hit high school.
It was difficult for them to start hearing and accepting the word no.
Teenage Taz and Jazz bitterly resented their mother's discipline. The rage boiled over when Nikki took away Taz's cell phone.
When she let it be known that you're 14, you can't talk to 17-year-old guys, and you can't be on the phone at a certain time, and you can't stay out or whatnot, that's when I think it became a battle.
And it was clear Nikki was losing control of her beautiful princesses.
Ain't that what you supposed to do?
Emergency?
Just listen to this frantic 911 call when she discovered Jazz had snuck out in the middle of the night to meet her boyfriend.
I just woke up and my daughter's gone at the house. How old is your daughter? Oh, Lord, 13.
Two once sweet and obedient girls suddenly morphed into two twin terrors. Officer Myra Scruggs responded to a call from Nikki after yet another blowout.
Don't tell me that.
Girls at great length trying to figure out what was going on. I actually went in the bedroom with the girls, had a closet full of beautiful name brand clothes, beautiful shoes. Their hair was immaculate.
My peeps.
These girls really had a good home.
At the time, the twins told Officer Scruggs they didn't want to live with their mother and insisted on moving back with their great-grandmother where the rules were relaxed.
Nikki said they wanted their way, and it just wasn't going to happen.
But after interviewing Nikki, Taz, and Jazz, Scruggs says she had an unsettling feeling.
The girls seemed very innocent, very sweet, but the look in Nikki's face, she was fearful of those children. She knew.
Come on, man.
That they worked.
Come on, man. What a.
After a few hours, everything appeared to have calmed down.
The girls were just ready to go to bed, and maybe we'll just call
Scared of your own children. Come on.
Tomorrow we can go see her. And they left it like it was all okay.
But Officer Scruggs had a gnawing feeling that something just wasn't right. Instead of leaving the subdivision, she stayed close.
You come from me.
Knew it wasn't over.
How am I going to be scared of you?
I would say 3 or 4 minutes. I could hear screaming coming from the direction of the house. Both of them jumped on her, and the two of them began to beat her.
Nikki manages to get away and calls 911 again. Officer Scruggs rushed back to the house.
Nikki's running out of the house with the cordless phone in her hand, hysterical. She said as soon as I left that the girls had attacked her.
Taz and Jazz tell an entirely different story.
The twins said that once they went back in the house after we left, that their mother became abusive with them, told them that they were not going anywhere, and started to beat them.
But Officer Scruggs said the physical evidence clearly showed Nikki was the victim.
She had scratches on her neck, scratches on her chest, and she was hysterical. The girls, on the other hand, had no marks on them, no indication that really they had been in any kind of an altercation. Talking with them, I didn't know everything the girls had said.
They live in a
more
separate
disturbing,
life.
she recalls the girls' eerie calm after the attack.
You could have been two strangers, and there would have been more emotion shown.
This time, Taz and Jazz are taken into custody and charged. For years, the two are in and out of court, ordered along with their mother to undergo counseling. But in fact, a previous court order had actually forced the twins and their mom to live together for a trial period.
My mama love
It was
her
a living
kids,
hell
bro.
for her.
She ain't gonna happen no
only
other way.
because the kids did not want to be back with her.
Most family members chalked up all the resentment for Mom to a rebellious teenage phase. But the
Send their
early
ass
spats
somewhere
were
else.
nothing compared to the last time cops are called to the house. The
If I
girls
go do
in
that with my
absolute
son.
panic.
As I was pulling out to get to the gate,
Alright.
the
Okay.
young lady stopped me,
And 2 of 'em.
saying someone
Alright.
had killed her mother.
It was late in the day, just after school, when Taz and Jazz returned home to find a horrifying scene. Nikki Whitehead is lying dead in a blood-soaked bathtub, and a swirl of questions. Who could have done such a horrendous act? Welcome back. A house in turmoil has become a house of horrors. 16-year-old twin sisters, Taz and Jazz, find their single mom, Nikki Whitehead, viciously stabbed to death. But cops start to suspect the girls aren't as innocent as they might seem.
And then her mugshot. They mugshots. Like, bro, didn't I say that?
16-year-old twins, Jazz and Taz, arrived home from school to find a ghastly scene. Their mother dead, lying in a blood-soaked bathtub, viciously stabbed 80 times, her spine nearly severed.
How can you do that
Cops
to your
immediately
mother,
take the
bro?
twins in, mostly to console their grief.
Or to anybody.
Investigators carefully navigate the situation, but they need answers.
Unless you do something to my
When I
kids or
walked
my
in
family.
the front door,
Torture
it was the first time I'd
motherfucking
ever
ass.
been on something as horrific as that.
But these hoes is crazy, bro.
Put my stuff down. And I seen the blood all in there on the floor. And I went in there and I seen her.
On the surface, it seemed almost unlikely that 2 young girls could be suspected of such brutal violence. And police soon heard something eyebrow-raising about Nikki directly from Jazz and Taz. Nikki was dating 2 different men.
She lived with Robert, and she also had a boyfriend named Joe. The twins had indicated that Robert had overheard her speaking to the other boyfriend on the phone and indicated that Robert had confronted Nikki about the infidelity.
Come
At
on,
first,
man.
cops wondered if a love triangle may have led to Nikki's demise. But they were also too perplexed about the odd behavior of Jazz and Taz.
In the back of the ambulance, we saw one of the twins bite her arm. We stopped her and asked her, hey, what are you doing? And she explained that she does that when she gets upset.
Inside the interrogation room, Taz can be seen on surveillance camera rocking back and forth, comforting each other, and even sharing a kiss. Then, a startling
it's gonna be
comment
okay,
takes
sis,
Detective
we got
Pete
this.
Swift completely off guard.
These 2 girls were hugging each other, and when I said, what can I do to make this easier for you? They turned and looked at me and they said, can we watch CSI? The hairs on the back of my neck stood straight up. Essentially, it was
CSI.
right then, and it was like something was very, very off.
And cops noticed something even more suspicious.
They would cry a lot, but it was tearless
These
crying.
hoes is crazy, bro.
When I would ask them to describe their mother, they would
He asks you what
insult
can he
their
do for
mother.
you, and
During the
you
interview,
say,
detectives observed the twins still
Put on
wearing
CSI.
gloves.
I got into a fight with her.
As they weaved their story, back at the bloody crime scene, investigators uncovered physical evidence.
The sinks were completely clean and white. We found shoes in the back of their closet that had blood on it.
And in Taz's bedroom.
There's
Ain't even
a
trying to
pair
cover
of
it, they
brown
crying.
boots that
Damn.
have a significant amount of blood on them. I found a clump of hair. Normally, a clump of hair is insignificant in a female's house simply because there's hair everywhere.
so either
But
your
when
mama
that
put out
clump
your
of
hair, you
is
done put out
attached to
hers.
a substantial amount of
Fighting
flesh that
for her
has been
life.
pulled out of somebody's head and then has been wrapped in a napkin and stuffed into the toe of a shoe.
What I just say, I didn't watch this video, bro.
The twins were not telling us anything that was truthful.
Investigators quickly determined that they had their main suspects, and Clueless didn't even begin to describe the situation.
I can't
Right now, we
see.
gotta be strong so they can catch the person who did it.
Take a look at how Taz looks directly at the surveillance camera, knowing she's being recorded giving an award-winning performance.
Never gonna be happy
Bro, they be petty. They catch you at the most dumbest.
Then the lies
craziest
unravel
moments.
when detectives
And
retrace
take
their
a picture
moments
of
on the
your ass.
day of the murder.
What time did y'all leave the house this morning?
We missed the bus, so we had to walk.
But surveillance video from a nearby gas station shows they didn't walk to school. They actually hitched a ride from a stranger.
We began catching them in lies concerning their time frames or their details.
That's why y'all ass be
They
getting
began to
kidnapped
be
and shit.
very angry and uncooperative.
You gonna murder your mama and then
Detectives
hit your ride.
separate the twins, and being apart seems to work.
Look at somebody.
I don't think y'all did nothing. Why you say that? Because it seemed like it. Who said that? Well, it just seemed like how y'all was questioning us. It just seemed like y'all think we did it.
Prior to testing evidence found at the home, cops can't hold the girls who are
Like
released
you
to
think
their
we did.
great-grandmother. For the next 4 months, Taz and Jazz lead a normal life, going to school, even attending the prom. Meanwhile, police
And they
quietly
mama
build
dead.
their case.
We found
They don't want
items
to
in their
prom.
closet that had blood on them. So when we were trying to
And they mama
distinguish
dead.
whose blood, you cannot determine between twins because they have the same DNA.
And then a startling clue almost coming from beyond the grave.
To Nikki's
I was
credit,
out.
she did not go down without a fight, and she left evidence on one of her girls. as
Try
a
to kill them
marker.
bitches.
Remember when cops saw Taz biting her arm, explaining it away as a nervous habit? Detectives say she was trying to cover up Nikki's bite mark on her arm.
We had a dental examination of Nikki's teeth, and they matched it to the bite on the twin.
And autopsy results
She
revealed
tried
another
to bite
grim
this
detail.
bitch to get her up off of her,
They
bro.
found human hair between Nikki's teeth. We would surmise that twin was behind Nikki and had her from around the front. Nikki's fighting for her life and bit her arm, and that's how the hair became embedded in her teeth.
If it would have been one
On
of
the
them, she would
last
have
day
had
of
him.
school,
I mean, she would
before
have had
summer
him.
break, detectives arrested Taz at home, then head to Rockdale High School to nab her sister, Jazz.
Man, hang you by
Decided
your
we were
cooch.
gonna arrest them on the last
Shit,
day of school
kill your
for
mama,
fear
you
of they
tripping
were
bitch.
gonna take flight out of the country.
You and your
to avoid
sister,
the
bro.
charges.
I always joke.
We're
Bro,
back with twin terrors Taz and Jazz, 16-year-old girls arrested for the brutal slaying of their own mother. It seemed like they might remain tight-lipped forever
Your
about
mama
this
had to
chilling crime,
bite you.
but eventually the twins come forward with a stunning admission. Hauled off to jail, the pair kept silent about the chilling crime.
Yeah, they need that plea.
But as they awaited trial over 4 years,
Yeah.
they would finally come forward with a stunning admission, outright confessing to the brutal attack and murder.
watch our kids, bro. I keep saying this. They live in a separate life
Where did you stab her?
when they get older.
I think I stabbed her in the stomach. It was
I used to.
I had her hands, just her feet, kind of like a joint effort. She was heavy. We just put it in. The water was turned on.
You did realize that morning your mom was dead.
Yeah.
As part of a plea deal with the state to avoid trial, Taz and Jazz pleaded guilty to voluntary manslaughter, agreeing to tell the whole
Told you.
gory story.
Plea. What'd I say? Plea.
The two girls had planned for this event.
Cops believe Nikki never stood a chance.
They be out in
The
20.
bloody path extended to outside the home, suggesting Nikki managed to get away.
10 to 15.
At some point, Nikki escaped, made it to that house next door. When we interviewed that resident, he recalled someone yelling, and he heard someone ring his doorbell.
She made it out,
was
y'all.
in bed at the time, and he didn't get up to go
She just
investigate.
didn't make it.
We could
That's
see where
crazy.
Nikki's bare feet exited and re-entered through that door in blood. We would surmise from putting all the crime scene together
She
that
made
she
it
was
out.
pulled back into the house where the attack resumed.
But didn't make it.
In the house,
That's
the girls
fucked up.
smashed their mother over the head with a pot, stabbed her with a kitchen knife, choked her with a ribbon of a medal, and then dragged her body into the tub where they left her there to die.
What does she say when she's in the tub?
Kill me now. I'll kill y'all.
But what happened?
She went under a couple times and that was it.
I can't imagine, bro.
By their account, they were up to 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. They didn't want to get up when they were awakened to go to school for their
R.I.P. to
by their
her,
mother.
man. R.I.P. Nikki, man.
And I think that's
Damn.
what sparked the attack, the confrontation.
Fuck.
And that they killed their mother. And then they spent a couple of hours fabricating parts of the crime scene and cleaning it up. And then they went to school so that they would have an alibi.
This was an act of rape.
Fuck is this
Jazz
juice?
and Taz were sentenced to 30 years in prison, and since they've been behind bars, Jazz
said
traded in
20.
her jailhouse jumpsuit for a different uniform, at least for a day. She's graduated high school and even served as class valedictorian.
I worked really, really, really hard. I stayed up all night some days to finish some of the things they gave me.
But underneath that proud
Bitch,
smile
fuck you.
is a cold-blooded killer, part of an
Kiss
evil
your damn
duo
mama, man.
who killed the very woman who gave them life.
Her last few moments of life had to be horrible. That she was being murdered by her own daughters.
Y'all,